Just like jumping off. Cool. Welcome back to the Daily Dose, the number one daily morning mastermind for those trying to elevate and grow in their business, personal, professional lives. You're trying to elevate. This is the place that you need to be at. All right. Um, like I said, it's Thursday. It's another great day. God is great. We'll hop right into the verse of the day. So today, or the verse of the week, Colossians 3 and 23 through 24. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for humans, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving, right? Make sure that we all remember that the work that we're doing is not for these humans. It's not for ourselves. It's not for our manager. It's not for our owner of our company. It is not. It's not for humans. All the work that we putting in is for God. We got to make sure that we are operating in excellence according to that word, right? And that's how we can also not take so much stuff at work as personal or get upset over just the small things that might happen at work. Because we gotta remember the work ain't for us to it's for us to show God like, hey man, we working, right? It's us to prove to God like, hey man, we can do what you asked me to do, and I can do it at a high capacity, and I can do it at a high level, and in position and ready to be blessed with more. Really, that's what we got to get to the mode of. We doing this, we doing the work so well that we're in position to get received or get blessed with more, right? So want to always remember that. That's the verse of the week. The business topic of today is going to be green business practices. So that's going to be making sure that we are being environmentally sound as we operate in our business, because we all know global warming is a real thing. Even if you don't think it's real. So we got to understand that all these things that happen in our environment that are make we are consuming resources at an alarming speed, right? As more people being born every single day, is more uh, resources being used up, and we got to make sure that we are being cognizant of that in our businesses as well, and making sure that we are creating an avenue for us to be sustainable, not only for monetary reasons, but environmental reasons as well, right? So make sure that we're optimizing ourselves for energy efficiency, whatever electronics that you're using, whatever, um, like, however you're using your electricity, make sure that you're optimizing for the best energy, whatever space that you're in, whatever, um, like I said, however you're using your energy, just make sure that it's most efficient, right? You might have to look up the best computers that use, you know what I'm saying, the least energy with the most amount of power, stuff like that. Just look it up. Just make sure that we're being aware, because that helps us to be um, responsible and wise stewards of what we've been installed. Invest in renewable energy resources, right? So that's plastic, that's um or different stuff that can be renewed, right? And make sure that we are taking advantage of using those renewable energy sources, right? Um, Green procurement. Make sure that when we are buying things, we are taking note of the items that are energy efficient, cost efficient, but also helpful to our environment. We want to make sure that we are buying things and being aware of things that will help us in our environment, because that'll just help our business um, be around for a long time. And that could be down to the most simplest things, like the products that we order that we're using for supplies. That could be down to the companies that we use, what are their thought on environmental sustainability. We owe it to ourselves, we owe it to the world to be environmentally sound, environmentally friendly, so that we can do our part in helping the planet be here for a while. Train your employees, engage your employees on being more environmentally sound and sustainable. Like I said, that's a big thing when your company, and this is more so, like I said, this is a lot for physical businesses, but this goes into e-commerce businesses as well, right? It makes a lot of sense for you to think about these options whenever you have just these things going on. You got like I said, train your employees to think deeper about what they're actually doing. What are the products that we're using? What are the uh, processes of us getting things done? And make sure that we are reducing waste, right? We're not just out here just consuming or creating a whole lot of waste to put back into a landfill for it to just pile up. And, so we want to be able to do that. I want to be able to understand the best possible solution for waste reduction and all of these things in our business. We don't want to just be out here, just consuming a whole bunch of stuff that can't be renewed. We don't want to be putting a whole bunch of more waste into the atmosphere. And that also goes into time. Like you want to make sure that we're reducing the amount of time that we're spending on things, making our processes the most efficient. So that also correlates into going in with being more energy efficient, right? Super important to understand that and think about that because, like I said, we have a responsibility to this world since we are on it to think about being environmentally sustainable, right? And then our next thing for our self development topic is going to be overcoming perfectionism. A lot of people deal with perfectionism. It prevents a lot of us from even starting to do things because we just want things to be perfect before we even get started, right? I know that happens to me in certain situations in my life where I just want stuff to be perfect before I make a move on certain things, right? Because it just seems like it would be better if everything is lined up before I actually make a move. But sometimes, that's not the way God intended it for it to be. And we actually need to grow through those things, right? So, number one is to embrace imperfection. Understand that everything is not going to be perfect. That your circle, unless you using a utensil to draw a circle, it's more than likely it's going to be some curvy lines in it, right? It's not just going to be a perfect circle, right? We got to embrace the imperfections because nobody on this earth is perfect in the first place, and we all have some imperfections, um, and we need to embrace those because that's also what makes us uniquely ourselves, right? And then the next thing is set realistic expectations. I know I talk a lot about thinking big, dreaming big, setting really big goals, and I really believe in that, right? But the goal needs to be, I would say, kind of realistic because, and I'm not using this really as like I don't mean like whatever, like if it's a number, I don't really mean that because I believe that if you put the energy towards whatever you're doing and you actually map out whatever number that you're trying to hit, you can do it. It's just all in the amount of work and effort that you put in. But what I mean is by set realistic expectations is make sure that you're on topic for whatever your expectations are. Have um don't have expectations for something like over here and then you doing something that correlates to something over here, right? That's more so what I mean. And then another thing that will help you out with this, helps me out, is to focus on the process rather than the result, right? Make sure that we are focusing on going through it rather than the end destination, right? Because it's the lessons, the fun, the turmoil, the trials and tribulations, all in the journey, right? It's really never no destination. Like if you want to think about it, the only certain destination that we all have is death. So we want to make sure that we're focusing on the journey rather than the destination, right? That's how we'll all be able to live our best life. That's how we'll be able to understand um, that it's all a process, right? And like I said, and this could be with anything that you're trying to do in your business, focusing on that process rather than the actual result of the thing. Because when you focus on the process, you'll understand the little intricacies, the delicacies that go into whatever you're trying to accomplish, and that'll help you to overcome that perfectionism. And the last thing I have up here is to practice self-compassion. When you are compassionate towards yourself, you will be able to understand and realize that you have a lot of power, a lot of abilities to do things that you may not thought you could do, right? So it's so important for us to practice that self-compassion and to give ourselves some grace, right? Understand, like I said, we can't be perfect. Well, we're not going to be perfect, and that we are going to go through some things. And we need to learn and we need to learn through those things, right? Everything's just not gonna be a perfect situation, and we need to understand that. So that's what I got for today for our business topic and our self-development topic. I hope everybody has a extremely blessed Thursday and finish out the week strong, right? Like I said, it's almost the end of the week, and we'll be right back at it tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. I appreciate it. I hope everybody has a blessed